standing by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Complete.
For a special occasion, the portal to many dimensions is open. Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichigen. It's your favorite superstar, the multi-dimensional Tajigen Kaiden, a sentient star cluster in virtual idol form. Great to see you all though. Yes, we have had an entire week without streams, it's been a mess IRL, but then it sets up this special stream very nicely, doesn't it? Glad you could make it to the start of the stream, Mist. Enemy anniversary spotted! Happy anniversary, Gaiden, and thank you, Mist. 1 year ago, what we did for the anniversary was a special subathon, and yeah, Mist was an absolute MVP of that. This year, we're not doing a subathon. Hey, your subs are welcome anyway. But yeah, how's the volume of things, by the way? I got another pair of headphones. I'm using them on my microphone right now, and well, I sound louder than everything else, but then I see that I'm not actually that much louder than everything else in OBS. It's kind of confusing, but yeah. Anyway, let me know if the volume is at some point just wrong or something. Always a constant battle, checking volume and all that on the stream. And eventually, I gotta get a dynamic microphone again. You're going to be maid of honor for a Dexy South and a Lurin South. Wow! Dexy's marrying in a lot of characters, but that's great though. You married the Dexy and now you're maid of honor. You are all so multi-dimensional. Look at you, with your multiple characters doing things like these. You're multi-dimensional. I'm not joking about that. You are multi-dimensional. Kimi tachi wa tajigen da. Ha ha ha. It's my influence. Now, minna wa tajigen da. Everybody is multi-dimensional, don't you see? I've always pictured an isekai in which people get transported into the MMORPG world or a world akin to it. We've seen that before, but I would love to see a series of characters who are all connected telepathically, and it turns out it's revealed later that it's because they're all the alts of the same person. So the same person, that person got transported into the world in like 8 different iterations, and they're able to live a full multi-dimensional existence as 8 different people at the same time, which would be, I would love to see that. Maybe I should write it, I don't know. Happy freaking Final Fantasy. Oh wait, wrong stream. Happy freaking anniversary. Thank you, Lurin. Thank you, Lurin. It's the 5th anniversary, so it does start with a 5, with an F. Sorry. Man, I kind of didn't want to mention that it's the 5th because I felt like I should have been done. I should have done something bigger, but I just wasn't able to this year. You know, as 5 is such a big number, and to be fair, I haven't been streaming like every single day since, right? And a couple of years there were some hiatuses that were like 5-6 months long. If you put it all together, it's not actually 5 years, but you know. Overall, it was 2018 February 11 that I had the first official stream. Technically, it wasn't actually the first stream. I did some streams before that. Beta, alpha streams is what I called them. But the first one that I deem official was on February 11. That number you see after the star in the title is the number of the stream. I think after we reach stream 500, I'm not going to put the number on the title anymore. I get the feeling it's confusing for some people, maybe. I don't know. I've had those numbers since the beginning. I've never stopped having them. It is likely that I have miscounted something. Something has been miscounted and it's not the actual number, but I don't care. For as far as I'm concerned, it's 471 streams. At this point, it's safe to say that I've done over 500 streams as well, because I have streams on YouTube, And I had some streams on the Lotra stream. I don't remember how many I did. I don't know how many I did. Just know it was about 5 to 6 months that I was there. Wish it were longer, but yeah. Speaking of Lotra, yeah. Talking a little bit about what it was like on that first stream 5 years ago. I remember clearly what I streamed. I streamed 3 games in this order. I started with Warframe. That's something I did a lot during those days, that I would go into whatever game I was doing dailies in. So I would start some streams with like dailies in Warframe. And well, I did Warframe, then I switched to Lotro. I was having a kin meeting with a kinship I'm not even in anymore. And I think I was new to the kinship at the time. And then after that we had Assassin's Creed Unity. Some fantastic things happened during that stream. The turnover was amazing. In great part due to Assassin's Creed Unity and a very kind person that was interested in Assassin's Creed came to my stream and they were like, I'm going to invite everybody, I'm going to tell everybody about you. And a lot of people came. I'll never forget that. It's a fantastic experience. And so we sang Victory by Jam Project at the end because it was an absolute success. I would have sang it no matter what, by the way. I would have sung it, not sang, sung it. I would have sung it no matter what because the fact that it happened in the first place was a success. I'm not doing it anymore because potential copyright reasons, but I'm supposed to be singing. I'm supposed to be at least listening to Victory by Jam Project every time we have a particular kind of victory. Like if we reach the level cap in a video game like an MMO, or if we finish a game, right? It's time for victory. Something like that. How's the construction coming at my place? It's finished. It's finished. They finished earlier on the week. It went on for so friggin' long. I forget that every time they tell you when it's going to be finished, add at least double the time for that. I was told it was like 1 week, right? It ended up being like 3.5 weeks or something. It's always like that with like construction work and all of that nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense. I take some words very literally, but yeah. There you are though. So yeah, next week we should be back to normal. And you know what? I think today we're going to build a schedule for next week, by the way. Yeah. Did I say by the way twice? Anyway. Anyway, I think we are indeed going to build the schedule for next week. As if it were a subathon, and we have reached the incentive in which you get to build the schedule with me for next week. There's just gonna be, well, it's not gonna be much that's different. I'm just gonna let you propose some games for maybe Wednesday and Thursday. Or actually no, I take that back. No, I don't know if we're gonna do that. I think I've already decided what the games are gonna be. I need to see what's going on with Master Duel, because if there's something special going on with it, we should have it next week. Honestly. And well, I am starting to be in the rough planning stages for something new for another Kamen Rider challenge for this year. So last year, the hashtag 38 Kamen Rider challenge happened. I did a short cover of all the openings or themes for each of the 38 at the time main riders, and now there are 39 with Geats. Revice is counted only as one, so you know, Revi and Vice counted both together as Revise. So this time I'm planning something, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be possible. I'm not gonna do the covers again. I guess I could, honestly, I could do them again and do them better now, because I'm not entirely happy with the quality of some of the ones I did. But it was done. It was meant to be like in a sort of, in lack of a better word, rushed way to meet all 38 days, which we did. But yeah, and of course we'll have the hashtag and everything. The Daily Kamen Rider account currently has over 7,000 followers. So with that in mind, I think it's gonna reach. I don't remember how many followers there were in Daily Kamen Rider last year. It was much less than this. It was maybe 3,000, something like that. So yeah. I should probably, well, if I go through with it, yeah, I'll promote it right there as always. I might do a video again. Might be in the keyword, because I already did do a video last year, and it's right there in the VODs on the YouTube channel. To have another one like that again, I mean, yeah, actually, yeah, the more I think about it, the better it is. But yeah. Oh, also this week, I finally reached the level I wanted to reach on the season pass in Fall Guys. So I got the Ultraman skins. I haven't worn them yet. I was hoping to wear them for a live stream. And of course, I unlocked a bunch of other things after I got the season pass. Lots of great cosmetics. I'm wearing some of them. I don't remember. Oh yes, and I also finished the Lobstar League challenge, which was like winning in duos, winning in squads. I got that great solo win on the stream last time. I was gonna say last week, but well, yeah, for me weeks end on Saturday, so it's still like this week. So yeah, last week, we got that. And the duo win was great. We were in the one where like, what was it? Blastlantis? No, it wasn't Blastlantis, but the one where you have the blast balls and like, the first one in which I won on the stream actually. And oh yeah, now that I remember it, I think it was a solo win. And I got it, was it a solo win? I'm almost certain it was a solo win. But you know, when like the other remaining opponent fell, instead of me making them fall to their death or whatever, they actually fell accidentally and I won like that. It was funny. But there still should be a clip of that actually. But yeah, what was I gonna say? But yeah, like the duo win we got was in that stage, and eventually it was only the two of us left at the end that I noticed. So I just did a salute, a literal salute emote, and I threw myself to my death because we already won. So my teammate was the last remaining person, and that's when they ended the game. Because the funny thing is, when you're in duos and squads, and you're in a game mode like that, where it's like one guy standing, one being must be left standing, and only then does it end it. It doesn't adapt it to the team mode. So it still only ends the game when there is one left, or everybody has been eliminated. So you could have like, let's say it's a squad mode and you have 4 people left, and all 4 people are in the same squad, but the game still hasn't ended. Because there's 4 people, it needs only 1 left. There must be only 1 left. So when you realize that, you can just throw yourself to your death and it's okay. Just make sure you are absolutely 100% sure about that. Otherwise, it could be bad. But yeah. And that was a great victory. And I got the Lobstar League challenges. I got that Lobstar costume that has like a sort of tokusatsu, a sort of rider belt, which I really appreciate. Or a pro wrestling belt, depending on how you see it. So there's that. I haven't played much Master Duel off the stream though, which is okay because there's no ongoing event right now. There's the Duel Pass. It is important to reach the final rank of that, but there's still a lot of time for that one left, right? And I don't care much about the rankings of the season. For them, a season is a month basically, so there's that. But with Master Duel, they're celebrating their 1st anniversary soon. A little bit late maybe, but what matters is that they celebrated. I mean, I'm very glad that we are celebrating the anniversary on the day of the anniversary itself, you know? That is great. That is great. We are gonna look back a little bit through the years. Just a little bit. For all intents and purposes, this is the most casual stream anniversary we've ever had, I guess. I didn't wanna... I always like to reminisce and say what we've done each of the February 11s since. This is the 6th one because, you know, numbers work like that funny. It's the 5th anniversary, but it's the 6th time in a row I'm streaming on February 11. Right? Numbers are funky like that, but yeah. But yeah, with Master Duel, they're celebrating their 1st anniversary. There seems to be, I already saw some leaks. I'm not going to say what they are in case of spoilers, but there's a lot of gold. And maybe an event coming with it. And if there is, I should participate in it. I should participate in that. Theme Chronicle was also for the 1st anniversary, but this is a more formal 1st anniversary celebration in itself. And I'm looking forward to it. Might bring back a lot of players. Seems like they will give away a nice amount of gems. If they do, that's great. I've been meaning to craft a bunch of UR and SRs that are like universal across many decks. And I want to complete a Spiral deck, and that still requires a couple of URs from the Spiral archetype. A Spiral deck or 2. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the Super Quant deck has been a lot of fun. I commented on this the other day on Twitter that it's a shame that the Super Quant and the Mask Hero archetypes never got anything on the anime. Because the thing that's so great about seeing Yu-Gi-Oh, about seeing dual monsters be played in the anime, is that all the characters always name the attacks of the monsters they do when they do a direct attack, when they attack a monster. The most famous one to me is Seto Kaiba going Horobi no Bats the stream for the bursting stream of destruction of Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's so good. Whether he's attacking a monster or he's attacking directly, they do that. Sometimes they name the effects of spells and traps. They have names for the effects of monsters too. And to have seen Super Quant and the Masked Hero archetypes would have meant that they would have named their attacks. And we would have seen attacks to them. Like, that's also it. It's not just that they name them, they make attacks for them. Because you see the cards become animated like that. Kunai with chain art, Nomad. Hey. Now that's another good example. Glad you could make it to the stream. Great to see you here. I just realized that actually. The fact that when you see the Blue Eyes White Dragon just do a beam, a big white beam of destruction from its mouth, that's not something you're gonna see if you just play the game. Even in the video games, they don't have time to animate that many animations for most of it, you know? So I get the feeling that if we had seen excuse me here. If we had seen Masked Hero, we would have probably seen one of them do a rider kick or something like that, a rider punch or something. The Super Quant with their mecha, we would have seen a Super Sentai effect when they have like King Great Magnus come together. We would have seen the like a Super Sentai cutscene when they come together. The Gyargia is another archetype that's based on Super Sentai, I think. But Super Quant was the one I went with. Super Quant is even more of a direct reference to Super Sentai than Gyargia is, arguably. But yeah, like, I've had some great wins with the Super Quant archetype off stream in Master Duel. I'm very happy about that. I did play a little bit of solo though the other day. Mostly because when I play solo, I like to do it on my Switch. Because then I can just do it like away from my PC, blah blah blah. And it's great that way, but yeah. What was I gonna say though? So yeah, that's the thing I absolutely love about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I feel like I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands to name the attacks myself. I've already done that. But I feel like I gotta do it even deeper. Elemental Hero Sunrise. Sunrise no Kogeki. Sunrise no Shining Flare. Shining Flare. Sunrise's direct attack. Or the Masked Hero archetype, right? Masked Hero Kamikaze. Divine Wind. Divine Kick. Kami Kick. Kami Rider Kick. Kamikaze no Shorida. That sort of thing. Oh yeah, there's a clip in which I have something like that going on. By the way, let me know if the audio was alright for that. If it got it kind of like crackly or thundery. I have all the filters in the world and all that, but it still may not be enough in a way. Eventually, I really need to invest in a dynamic microphone again. Or see if finally I can find somewhere where they repair my ATR 2100 maybe? I don't know if I can even repair it. But yeah. And also I really need to get some soundproofing for the room. Like sometimes, man, the neighbors have just been blasting music outdoors. Hopefully that never gets heard on the stream, but it is around this time, so as the stream goes on, hopefully you can't hear anything as I'm speaking. It's not the type of music you're hearing here, it's a very different type of music, so yeah. But yeah, man, and I've only begun scratching the surface with Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I did finish all of Duel Monsters, and even Series 1, Season 0, for that matter. I'm in the middle of GX right now. Things are starting to get really good, though. They are in the middle of the Society of Light arc. How did they say it in Japanese? Hikari no Kesha? Something like that. And there's a lot of shenanigans going on with it. Like, I like it. I really like the Society of Light. Manjome Jun. Chaz Princeton in the English dubs, but yeah, Jun Manjome. Like, I love that character. He's great. Manjome Sanda. Manjome Hoaito Sanda. Well, I was going to say something that happened, but it might be a spoiler. It is possible that everybody watching right now, like, you have zero interest to get into like that specific part of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and even if you do, you might not remember, but it still feels kind of wrong to say spoiler. Well, with all that in mind, I'm going to say it. So he was dueling Asuka, Tenjo in Asuka, who is, what is her name in... Alexis Rhodes, right? Yeah, Alexis Rhodes. Makes me think of Cody Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes. But yeah, he was dueling her, he beat her in a duel, and apparently he has supernatural powers going on, because he pretty much like... what's the word? I don't want to use the word brainwashing for this, but... more like he sort of converted her into the Society of Light. And... because that's what happened with him. Sayo, the leader of the Society of Light, beat him in a duel, and he's like, now you will join me because I beat you. And the supernatural powers make it so that Jun actually joins, and he's like, oh yes, let's paint the world in white, in bright, bright light. Subarashi Hikari. And the same happened to Asuka now. And it's fascinating to see because there's a lot of like heel turns going on. Heel turns is basically when somebody goes to the dark side. Another character had that happen to them in very different circumstances earlier in this arc. And now with Asuka, it's kind of happening, though she's kind of getting controlled, manipulated, it's implied. But what is going on, man? What the blazes even happened? The fact that Jun himself can do that. And it's super, super entertaining. I love it. The acting, the way the characters behave, I just love it. I just love Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters so much. I'm like, these are my people. I could be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character right there. Put me in there. I mean, I'll try to get better at duels. The rules are different in universe, mostly in Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, but yeah, put me in there. Put me in there. Give me a Mask Hero deck, a Super Quan deck, maybe an Insector deck, and let's go. I'll be a character. Get me in Duel Academia. I think I would go for Obelisk Blue, honestly. The other houses are fine too. Right Yellow doesn't seem to fit me though. I don't know if yellow fits me that much. And no, I am not wearing yellow in case you're wondering. This is gold, damn it. This is supposed to be gold. I'm draped in gold. Because it's the stream anniversary. Well, actually, no. This is just one of my outfit variations, but it fits. It fits. Yeah. Maybe I should put on the crown. Crowning myself for the stream anniversary now, right? I think we will have a subathon again, but that's only gonna be until June or July or so. We will have it until then for the VTuber anniversary, which is another 11th of a month. And that's a complete coincidence. You know, when I did my first stream as a VTuber, it wasn't meant to be like that. Like, it's just the day it ended up falling on. It was a Sunday, if I recall correctly, on the year it was done in, but yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, I've only begun scratching the surface with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I'm in the middle of GX and there's so much left of GX. And then there's 5Ds, CL, not sure if I said that right, Arc V, I forget the names of the others, what were they? Vrains? Yeah, Vrains I think is the 6th one and Sevens is the 7th one. And I think Go Rush is the 8th one and current. Which I was watching, but then I ended up dropping. If I want to get back to it, there's a lot of catching up I have to do. I probably won't be able to do it. So there's that. But, man, yeah. I just love the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters carry themselves and just say everything. Yeah, it's not just the attacks and like, abilities. They call out pretty much everything they do in a duel. Not all the time, but most of the time, right? And it makes the duels just look so much better. So much more fun. I'm more used to the way they do it in Japanese. But I think it can work just as well in English, just not in the way they did it in the 4Kids dubs. I think they just didn't do it right for that. For example, What they were trying to do right was the spirit, but the way the voices went and the way they yelled the attacks, I feel like they could have executed that better than that, but I'm not sure. Magic カード高量化の壺を発動。2枚カードドロー something like that. So in English that would be I activate magic card Pot of Greed. It lets me draw 2 cards in this turn, something like that. But they do it in a way that feels so forced. Like, I activate Pot of Greed. It lets me draw 2 cards. Like, I know it's not the voice actor's fault. I think it's just the way producers and directors insisted on doing with the voices. And honestly, like, you don't see me say something like, the acting was so forced here often. But for those things I do. To be fair though, I haven't watched enough of them. Of the 4Kids Yu-Gi-Oh! English dubs. But yeah, that's enough talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's look into the past a little bit, shall we? First, let me drink some water though, because kinda need some right now. I have not been hydrating well today. Not a good day to not hydrate well. Yesterday my voice was very good though, for most of the day. I managed to record some things. I can't tell you what they are, but I managed to record some stuff. And I think it came out alright. Oh yes, exciting things. So, I'm very happy with that, but I still need to like go back to doing vocal exercises. I don't think I did anything special yesterday. One thing I have been doing though is not consume coffee most days now. Still drink a lot of tea, but and I did have some Darjeeling earlier today. Good old Darjeeling. Been a while since I've had it. I'm glad I'm back to it. Hee. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, just coffee really just makes my throat become weaker in terms of singing and talking and stuff like that, so I think I want to avoid it more now, honestly. But tea, yeah, I still drink copious amounts of it. I might go back to energy drinks if I feel like I want to buy a pack of them again. Like sometimes I'm like stingy with that and I'm like, oh, well, why spend it on that when I have tea? But energy drinks hit differently in both good and bad ways. And don't worry, I'm not... the times I've had energy drinks, I've never misused them. Even together with the tea. Not at the same time, I mean, like, if I drink them both on the same day, I fully monitor the caffeine contents in each of them. With tea, it can't be that measured, but they always tell you how many milligrams there are in a can. I buy them in cans. If I end up buying, like, a tub of, like, Advanced GG or Focus or what have you, those would be my choice. I've heard great things about them. Wait, Focus? No, Sneak. I was thinking of a British brand. Sneak. No, Focus is one of the names they have for the energy drinks in Advanced GG. Yeah. And so, yeah, if I end up buying one of those, it's only when I'm sure that I'm going to be drinking them regularly enough. Most of the time, it's only once a day. I've never had it more than once a day, actually. I don't think I'm ever gonna do that. Because when it comes to the energy drinks, it's not just the caffeine content. It's other things that they have, like taurine, I think. Not sure how the blasted thing works. It sounds so brutal. It sounds like a very brutal thing. Taurine, like a ball. Like it gets you like red-eyed and... Well, not really like this, but it makes me picture like a ball just going red-eyed and rampaging. Sorry. They wake you up in a very like rough way. But no, they don't. It's sort of implied that they do. It's weird. Yeah, that's the thing with them. But yeah, man, now that I'm talking about it, I really want to go back to them. So, the way I drank energy drinks is that I started the day with them. Like literally, I would have them inside a thermos. I would have the can of the energy drink, and the thermos actually acted as a micro fridge, believe it or not. And as soon as I wake up, I have a little thing I call pre-breakfast, which is maybe just one like energy bar, or like yogurt and granola, and I shut down the alarm or snooze it, and then I grab my phone. Sometimes doesn't always work like this, but then I grab my phone and start playing something on the phone while I'm drinking the energy drink. And I'm sitting on my bed surrounded by fluffy, marshmallowy pillows because that's what my body is screaming for, which is why I end up just going back to sleep when I don't do this. Just to be surrounded by fluffy, marshmallowy clouds and go to sleep peacefully. But then it's a bad thing if I sleep in. So this is my little sort of, well, life hack, but doesn't really hack life that much. But yeah, something like that. And with energy drinks, it worked nicely. These days, I'm doing it with tea, but it has to really be prepared the night before. I put it on the same thermos, though. It ends up being a nice warm temperature on the next day, so it works out. I was doing this with coffee, but because coffee is easier to just have ready, like it's prepared at some other point in the day. I just heat it. I put it in the thermos. It usually doesn't end up staying warm or hot by the time the next day rolls around, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it with tea now. Coffee may have, may not be that good in certain ways, so there's that. I'm developing a caffeine addiction slowly, drinking up to 4 cups of coffee a day. Wait, we're in the middle of advertisements right now. I'm gonna read that again. In case you can't hear me, Art Nomad. If you can, still, I'm gonna tell you what I need to say about that. Some things I want to tell you about that. Well, yeah. Let me drink some water here. Need to hydrate more today. Man, I think you could hear me swallowing right there. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, today is a just chatting stream. We're just gonna be chilling with this music in the background. Brought to you by Senpai Gaming. I'm not sponsored. I just think they always deserve a shout out. Well, whenever I can, at least. For doing such fantastic things. Copyright-free music that is of very nice quality. Chiptune and synthwave is what we mostly have in this playlist. Mostly chiptune. I need to check out the Senpai Gaming, the Stream Beats website. This is Stream Beats by Senpai Gaming. In case they have anything new. But yeah, Art Nomad, about what you said in the chat right there. Be careful with it, be careful with it. The biggest problem that can happen with that is to have the sleep schedule messed up. Try not to become too dependent on it. I know what it's like. If I had a caffeine addiction, it's been in the form of tea, and it sucks. Today I woke up later than I should have, actually, and so I haven't consumed as much tea. And maybe I haven't developed anything like an actual addiction because it requires some willpower. Like, there's a part of me that really craves that tea. Like, the taste of it, the feel of it, the experience. I did have some, but I mean more of it. Like, I didn't have like a full teapot of 1 liter as I usually do, but I want to. But it wouldn't be good given how late I woke up. And the time right now, yeah, it's getting closer to the time in which I stop having caffeine for the day. So hey, as much as I love tea, I do have limitations imposed when it comes to its consumption. So yeah. Just make sure you give some limitations. I would say maybe watch out for the milligrams. And well, it will depend on how you're having your cups of coffee, the intensity. You kind of have to calculate that. I'm not entirely sure. I did it in my own way. I think the way I serve coffee, if I have coffee, 1 cup has about, was it 100 milligrams or so? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Like rounded down, rounded up. And, well, maybe I should be rounding down for something like this, but yeah. And give it a limit of about 300, 400 milligrams per day. Oh, I'm late to point this out, but just realized our Yamamoto's outfit colors because of Kaisa. They are not, but I appreciate that now. I'm seeing it now. Although Kaisa doesn't have that much purple, does he? Hold on. Hang on a moment. They are not, but I like that. I like that. Right, yeah. What am I thinking? How could I forget? Kaisa does have it in the eyes, the purple. They are not, but I really like that they look that way. No, they are just colors I'm very fond of. My color scheme is mostly purple, black, and platinum, or instead of platinum, it's white. Purple, black, and white, and then some gold may come here and there. In this version of the outfit, there's gold. There's another version in which there's no gold in it. It's white and purple, basically. White, purple, and black. Again, I prefer to think it's platinum, but yeah. So there's that. Oh yes, Nomad, I love purple a lot too. In case you haven't noticed. In case you haven't noticed from my everything, right? It's right there on my logo too. Yeah, you can see my colors in the logo right there. Exactly the colors I mentioned. Purple, black, and platinum, or well, instead of platinum, it's more like white, and or silver even, and just a little bit of gold sprinkled in here and there, right? And so that's what we get with this outfit. So myself as a VTuber, I am not, I am Frankenstein for many parts that I found mostly for free on booth.pm. The only thing that's paid for is actually the outfit I'm wearing, or rather the upper clothing. You can see my lower clothing, but I do have lower clothing. Don't think I'm that sort of streamer, okay? But yeah, the upper clothing I did pay for, so I could modify the colors, and by modifying them, I added this purple underneath it. Ooh, super low price. Super low price. It's worth purchasing. This is a great outfit. Idol outfit by Synchronize. I do remember. Don't remember the names of all of them. But yeah, Idol outfit by Synchronize. Most of the other assets are for free on Booth, or they are part of Vigoroid Studio already. Now, eventually what I want to do is to get a live 2D model. We should be talking about the future a little bit, right? On a day like this. We're gonna talk about the past in a moment. I was going to reminisce what we've done for each year for February 11 before today. But yeah, when I commission myself as Live 2D, I think I'm still gonna retain a little bit of gold. The vibes I'm gonna go for... I'm starting to get really fond of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Designs for characters. So I think I'm gonna want something like that for my hair at least. I'm telling you right now, you may see a very, and I mean very different hairstyle when I go Live 2D. Just gotta have the money. It's just a lot of budget that I don't have, nor it seems like I'm gonna have anytime soon. So I don't know. I don't know when that day is gonna come, but damn it, it's gotta come. Or if I take long enough, I don't know, maybe Live 2D won't be the standard or the quality I want anymore. There may be some other technology that, some other kind of way of doing it that maybe is better. I don't know, or not better, but like a style I want to go for the most. But yeah, I want to go for those huge anime vibes. Live 2D. The VTuber standard, arguably, that's what I want. Although when you say Live 2D, it doesn't necessarily mean anime style. It takes all sorts. There's been all sorts for Live 2D models. Even if they're using VTube Studio. Face Rig is the one that has like other things that are like not entirely anime-like, but yeah. Yeah. So there's that to consider. If I see that there's a nice price on a model that can be adopted though, I might become that model. I might purchase it. But it depends on the price really, and of course the quality of the model. Because I might just be better off just saving for that Live 2D. It's a whole process that's very costly. Like, I probably have to start with somebody designing a PNG that has like a lot of references in it, the color palette in it, etc. And after that, it's somebody who does the Live 2D avatar itself, ready to rig, and then somebody who does the rigging. Now, sometimes you can have somebody who does all of those things, 2 of those things, but I'm not sure how it's gonna be by the time I get to it. So, that's something that needs to be in consideration. And that's only like one of the many things I want to do. I need to upgrade my PC, the sooner the better. I might even do that before I go Live 2D, honestly. Might be necessary, but I'm not sure. that is a little bit of the unfortunately not so near future, but it's something I definitely want to talk about. Now, let's look in the past now. I wanted to reminisce about what I've done every single time. This is the 5th anniversary, I can't believe I'm saying that. And it all started on a 2018 February 11. So let's do some story time with your favorite superstar, the multi-dimensional Tajigen Kaiden, shall we? This music is kind of nice to reminisce. I had done streams before that February 11 actually. They are what I called alpha and then beta streams, testing the grounds to see that everything ran well. I didn't speak as much, and not because I was just getting started with streaming back then, but because I knew that I wasn't making them be full streams. But I do remember I got some followers out of those streams. I got some. I even made some jokes. I said commentary on the games I was playing, and yeah, like in a way they were full streams, but still we count the first stream as February 11. So 2018 February 11, it ended up being like an 8+ hour stream. I started with Warframe. Many streams at the time kind of started with Warframe, and then I moved on to an MMO. At the time I had ESO, Lotro, and I think that was it. Yeah, ESO and Lotro were the MMOs of choice back then. Later in that year I would end up going for Star Wars: The Old Republic, but that was a bit later in the year. Not at that time, in which I was starting out. So yeah, I started with Warframe, then I moved on to Lotro. Mostly, I think I streamed a kin meeting that I was doing. It was a big kinship meeting. It was the first kinship meeting. Kinship is a guild in Lotro, if you don't know. And Lord of the Rings Online. And hold on, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. I don't remember if I did anything else in-game for that day. But eventually, I had a viewer come in that has stayed with me since. Currently a wielder of the Emerald Sword, the moderator, who was there since day one. That was day one right there. And I think he came in and he was the first person to chat for that day. Not officially my first person to ever chat on the stream, but yeah. I remember my first chat. I don't remember what they said, but must have been in one of the alpha or beta streams. But I remember they said something like, they had the Kappa emote, and they had the I'm gonna show you the one of those hands that you saw right there. One of those hands that's casting like a purple fire. They had the Kappa emote and the hand with purple fire, and they said something in Latin, like it wasn't anything bad. They just said something like, kill the heretic, or they were chanting a spell. I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, oh, okay, welcome to the stream. What does that mean? Oh, well, I don't know. Something like that. And well, thank you for putting that in the chat. Okay, well, okay. Yeah, and I did look up later what it meant. I don't remember anymore, but it wasn't anything bad. It was just like, what does this have to do with anything? I think I might have been playing ESO when they posted that. And I don't know if they were throwing shade at something I was doing in-game or what, but yeah. I mean, I was a sorcerer in ESO. Maybe that has something to do with it. Or it could be an Elder Scrolls reference, actually, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't played enough of Elder Scrolls. Just ESO. Literally only ESO. Anyway. After that, after Lotro, I went to Assassin's Creed Unity. So one thing I was doing for my first year, or most of my first year, that is, a great time for experimentation, you might say. And I agree, though. Anybody that starts out with streaming, experiment with what works right for you. You see something that doesn't work right for you, go for something else maybe. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, what I was doing was that I would have 2 games on most of my streams. These days I only have 1 game. And for many streamers, especially VTubers, this is the standard. And it's a standard that I like to have. But what I was doing back then was that I had what I called rotational games. Most of them were assigned for a particular day. And I had a main game, as I called it. mostly a single player game. We actually only had 2 games that we completed on the stream like that, Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Syndicate. By the time I finished Syndicate, which was 100% done on stream by the way, that was great. Took some months, but it didn't take as long as I thought it would, so that was great. Man, I miss those times so much, man. Natsukashi ne. Just not just the game itself, but playing it on the stream like that. I gotta start a new single player game. When I do though, it's gonna be on YouTube. I think it's gotta be on YouTube. Oh yeah, like an RPG. We should start an RPG. Maybe I should get the PC version of Octopath Traveler 2 instead of the Switch version, and we can play it here on the stream. That's what we should do. Octopath Traveler figures in what we're gonna say in a moment, in what we're talking about in a moment, but that's what I mostly was doing, right? And it started from that first stream. I think it was like maybe 1 hour of Warframe, 1 hour of Lotro, and 6 hours of Assassin's Creed Unity, or 5 hours, and then one of the other 2 had an hour and a half, maybe. I don't remember, but yeah. When I play Assassin's Creed Unity, I started playing, I was doing missions. The thing about that game is that I didn't start it on the stream. I started it on 2017, December 11. I remember clearly because it's one day after my birthday. So of course I'm going to remember something like that. Elder Scrolls Online, I also started on that same year, 2017, on December 1st. It's great when you can remember dates like that. Maybe I should start recording the dates I start the game. If I started on the stream, the date in a way is recorded. But if I don't, I should probably record that. It's nice to see a record of when you started it and when you finished it. Even if you leave it for a while and then you finish it a while later like that. But yeah. What was I saying now? So while I was playing Assassin's Creed Unity, doing stuff that I was already in the middle of, I mean, to be fair, that's the same with Lotro. I didn't start it on the stream. I started it long before I started streaming. And when I started streaming, I just did the things I was in the middle of. In my 2 characters, Bolsten and Alterborn, at the time. I remember doing a lot of the Misty Mountains on the stream with Alterborn. Such great stuff. I did my first ever Hobbit character on the stream, and the first time I did all of the Shire on the stream on that same year. And then we did it again recently, last year, with Machai, the Warden Hobbit. That's great. That is great, actually. But what was I saying? While I was playing Assassin's Creed Unity, a person came in. Because I did have it in the title that is the first official stream. So I think she came in because she saw that I was streaming for the first time. And she was super friendly. She started talking to me. She said, I'm into Assassin's Creed. I came because... I think she said that she came because of Assassin's Creed and because it's my first time. We had a great conversation. And immediately, she tells me, I'm going to tell my friends about this. I'm going to tell some people I know online about this stream. Some of them other streamers. And I'm gonna tell them to come here and watch you and support you. And I'm like, what? My God, you're the best. You are so nice. Thank you. and they came. A nice number of people came. They started chatting. One of them I still talk with to this day. Not every day exactly, but we still keep in touch here and there. And they're still streaming. And now that person, I haven't seen her in a while. She did come. She would like reappear again for some years afterward. Man, this shows how long this has been. The fact that I'm saying sentences like that, but she would reappear for some years after that. Like, hey, it's me. Remember me? Of course I remember you. Are you kidding me? But yeah, still haven't seen her in a while. But really hope she's doing well. She did such great things for me. When I started that stream, I was in the single digit with the amount of followers we had on Twitch. And we were able to reach the double digits by the time we finished that stream. We were at like, I think by the end of the stream I had like 16 followers, I think. That was redundant, sorry. Double, I think, there. I either got like 16 followers or so on that stream, or it was like 16 or or around that number by the end of the stream. I don't remember, but it was a number kind of like that. So it was a nice turnover, like for a first ever live stream where you're not like a VTuber debuting, so you're not really promoting it anywhere. Oh yeah, my social media presence at the time, or rather my Twitter presence at the time, were practically non-existent compared to what I have now. And I still need to be even more active on Twitter than I am, so that's saying something. So it's not like I promoted the hell out of that. Marketing is one of my biggest weaknesses. And so to have a live stream like that, a first official live stream like that in that way, is a great achievement. I think this is a big deal. It's a big deal back then. Not back then, in general. Like, if somebody were to have like, they just like say, you know what, I'm gonna start live streaming for the first time ever. I'm gonna put it on the title. I'm gonna put first official live stream. Just gonna go live, it's gonna be scuffed because it's my first time. And they end up getting like 12 followers or so. Like, that's huge. That's not something, sounds like a small amount, but for something like that, it's not. Really not. So I was super grateful that day. And so that was the first February 11. 1 year later, I was in the middle of a hiatus because I needed it. Burnout, the B word, burnout, reared its ugly head at me. As the beginner streamer that I still was, you know, at the end of 2018, I think the last stream I did was actually my birthday stream on December 10 of that year. I don't recall I did anything special for the holidays that year. I don't think I did. But I did return on February 11 of 2019 because I wanted to do something for the anniversary. I was very aware that it was the anniversary. And I was in the middle of playing Octopath Traveler at the time on my Switch. My capture card, I did have it. It worked well enough. Yeah, like I went haywire purchasing things on 2018. Like, you know, I purchased the microphone I'm actually using right now for that. I purchased a capture card and I purchased a Nintendo Switch for the first time. And I purchased an Oculus Rift CV1 that I still have, but it doesn't quite work anymore, sadly. I kind of tried using it the other day, but there were issues with it. It kind of worked for a moment, but then, yeah. I think it's just the cable, and you can't get a replacement cable for that, unfortunately. So for all intents and purposes, the headset just doesn't work anymore. I'm not sure, though. Some problems are kind of funky. Kind of like it was implied from what I searched that I just need to disconnect one of my monitors, and then it can work. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, anyway. As I was saying, what was I saying? I streamed Octopath Traveler for that stream. Just in the middle of my playthrough, that was literally just one stream for my entire playthrough on Octopath Traveler. And I wouldn't stream again until like May of that year. I remember clearly, I intended to stream on 2019 May 4 for May the 4th for Star Wars The Old Republic, but then things happened IRL and I wasn't able to. So it ended up being until May 24 of that year, but then I started streaming again regularly. And then what followed was one of my best streaming years, actually. My best calendar streaming years. Some really great things happened in 2019. To put a long story short, I started to get associated directly with Artix Entertainment through Adventure Quest 3D, and with Standing Stone Games through Lotro, which I was already playing before that, but now I became an official member of the Lotro stream, getting that connection. And with Adventure Quest 3D, I became part of the Creators Alley, which is not really around anymore, but I would get rated by the official channel here and there. And one thing that I was fond of was having Thursdays be mostly 2019, but a little bit of 2020 as well. I would have the stream on the Lotro stream in the morning, early afternoon, and then in the later afternoon, evening, I would have an Adventure Quest 3D stream, and sometimes get rated by the channel. What's up, Vermilion? Great to see you. Thanks for bringing the, what are they called? Light sticks? I keep forgetting the name. Thanks for bringing the light sticks to the anniversary stream. Hope it's all going well. How have you been with your Toku watching, by the way? I forgot to mention, I started watching Precure yesterday. There's a new Precure series and it looks so fun. the first ever male regular Precure member, because from what I get, there's already been a male Precure, just not as a regular cast member. But this is like the regular team member. Hasn't appeared on the series yet, besides like the opening and ending. But yeah. And there's an adult Precure, 18 years old, but you know, they never had an adult Precure before. They've all been minors, I guess. So there's that. You know, the kind of heroes that become heroes even if they become legal age. Man, talk about an eventful life. Digimon is like that too, Pokemon. What else is like that? I forget. My own life is like that. Oh yes, I've been a superstar in this human form forever. So, yeah, I've always been a superstar. But yeah, so that was Octopath Traveler 1. Still gonna be a while before I can afford Octopath Traveler 2, so I'm not gonna start that yet. Man, I wish they had Live It Live also for PC. I would be able to play it. I still have the capture card that I used before. It's just weird because, well, first of all, it has a problem. This is not weird. This is something that's part of the features, and that's what I get for going for a cheap capture card. I don't regret it though. It's giving me some good moments, but it is problematic for streaming. But it has a huge delay that gets longer the more I stream, the more I use it. So that is a problem. And then the capture card sometimes just doesn't work. It doesn't like project. It doesn't get it's weird. It's weird. I go through periods in which I always have it disconnected. I never use it. The HDMI cable attached to it is just gathering dust, literally. It's right here on my desk. And I'm looking at it and it's like that. The cable is gathering dust. Not the capture card itself though. I try to keep dust mostly off of it to varying degrees of success. But that's another story. And then I go through periods in which I always have it plugged in case I'm gonna like stream or whatever. But yeah, it's gonna come into play again as I keep going through the years. So on 2020 February 11, I don't remember what I did. I have no recollection of what I did for that. I might be able to check something here. Let me see if I have the information here somewhere. Let me just check very quickly. But I'm guessing it must have been AQ3D, Lotro maybe, something like that. Oh man, I need to do some backups actually. Oh, I need to do a couple backups of videos today actually. Oh yes, I forgot about that. Anyway, let me see if I can find something about that by any chance. So it was 2020 February 11. Okay. Give me a second here. I can actually check. Okay. It was a 3 hours 32 minute stream. It was a just chatting stream, just like this one. Oh, and I even went through the X8. I even went through the X8 Flash belt. This was 2020, so Flash was still alive in browsers, and we played around a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna tease you. There are reasons why I can't show you this on the stream, but you can you should be able to hear a little bit of this. Let's hear this.
I actually haven't gotten to the part of the series where he gets this upgrade, but I've already seen it. I have already seen all the forms, basically. It's really hard to avoid those kinds of spoilers at this point. Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be all I'm gonna show right now of that Kamen Rider XA Flash belt. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. I hope it was alright. But yeah, we kind of took away from the just chatting section. Let's continue the music here, though.
What music was I playing?
That we were listening to.
Oh yeah, the time DMCA issues weren't that widespread, and I was playing music in a different way. There's a Demon Slayer song in the background. I don't even remember that, but there you go. So that was 2020 February 11. It was a Just Chatting stream, just like this one. So it's not the first time I've done Just Chatting for the stream anniversary. That works out, that's fine. It's not so bad. So that was the 2nd anniversary, the 3rd stream. We're gonna have an ad starting soon, so let me drink some water. I'll continue talking about this in a moment. My voice is kind of weak today. Maybe because I haven't been hydrating that well. But yeah, I'm very fond of those times still though. That was still some nice stuff. You know, when it comes to the Lotter stream, I've reconsidered in many ways reaching out to the community manager, to the team, and maybe see if I get back in. It would be a fascinating thing because I think I would bring something very unique now. Even more so than before. I like to think I was bringing some unique things, but not as unique as the only VTuber streaming Lotro on the Lotro stream. I haven't streamed Lotro in a while actually, but I've been thinking of going back to it, as I do for a lot of games. The problem is just time. And then with the Lotro stream, it's time and also a bunch of other factors with it that make me unsure whether I can stream Lotro in the first place. Or not Lotro, whether I can stream in the Lotro stream again in the first place. And of course, I may not want to be VTuber, I may not feel like it's fitting for the vibe or everything. I think we are gonna see a VTuber on the Lotro stream eventually. As long as the Lotro stream keeps on. Not too dissimilar to, why is my head always cropped like this? There we go. Similar to what I've seen in other channels that are like that. The DDO stream, we may see something like that too. So, the Lotro stream and DDO stream, for those who don't know, are two channels in which streamers go and stream there, and they still have their own channels, most of them. There are some other people who don't have their own, like, YouTube or Twitch channels. Well, actually, no, I was gonna say that Tolkien Professor is like that, but he does technically have his own content outside of it. Just not so much a Twitch channel, but, he's not an entertainer live streamer like most of the Lotro streamers are. But yeah, the only one that doesn't have his own place is Cordovan, the community manager, because he's already there representing the Lotro and the DDO stream. But yeah, they're not the only ones to do that. Standing Stone Games is not the only one to do this. What was it? High Res Studios? Yeah. High Res Studios also has this for 3 of their games. Smite, Paladins, and Realm Royale. Not sure if the Realm Royale stream is still around actually. I haven't kept up with it. And I've noticed that in the Smite stream, there's a couple of VTubers that stream there. And of course also in their own channels. So yeah, this has already happened. And that is great, honestly. That is great that they got those. I know the Smite stream has been around for a while now. I don't know about the Paladins one. The Realm Royale one was only launched recently when it went reforged last year. By the way, we need to get back to that game. Collabing with a certain Elven VTuber again, maybe. But yeah, yeah, because there's been a lot of changes since the last time I was there. Same with Fortnite, but oh man. I'm gonna end up missing on this second Dragon Ball collab now. Such a shame, but not the end of the world, I guess. Hopefully they do bring everything back. I'll try to shake off my rust when I go back to it. Maybe if I have time tomorrow, I'll do it. I'll doubt I have the time today. But yeah, Smite, the Smite stream has been around for a while, so they've been around since before VTubers became that frequent on Twitch. So there is that to mention. Now, back to what we were saying though. Let's jump back a year later. 2021, February 11. My second long stream hiatus was then, and it's become the longest by now. It beat the record for the 2019 one. The first 5-6 months of 2021 I was gone, really rethinking a lot of things about myself and the live streaming and content creation. But I was there for the 3rd anniversary because it's an important date. And this time I had Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now I had started the game. I had started it before on the stream, before I went on the hiatus, which was, yeah, pretty much at the end of 2020. I said that I was gonna be gone for a while and until further notice, and I didn't know when I was gonna come back. And so it was in the middle of that, but it hadn't been that long, all things considered, since I had streamed, just a couple months. Like a month and a half, a month and a week or so, right? In the grand scheme of things, I guess it's not that long, but it is a long period of time to not have streams. Hey, there you are, alerting. Watching from the shadows, thank you for the lurk. And what was I saying? My voice feels so weak today. I have these lollipops that are actually like... You can buy them in a pharmacy, and they actually help with your voice. Like, they're sweet, they're made for nice candy as well, but they're also supposed to help with the voice, and they have helped. Can't really take them right now, though. Can't really do it while I'm on the stream, can I? Like, while I'm talking. Otherwise, I might do that to just loosen things up a little bit on the throat. But anyway, the throat. Funny word to say. Always a funny word to say for me, I don't know why. Anyway. I stream New Horizons because, guess what? It's not just the stream anniversary, but it's also the birthday of a villager I have on my island. Tajigen. Yes, that's the name of the island, Tajigen. Pom Pom, who was one of the villagers that came when I was doing the part at the beginning of the game in which you get new residents, and you can either get them randomly or you look for them in the islands. And one of them is going to be, so you start with a jock, an athletic resident, and you start with a big sister type of resident. The other 3 you're gonna get as like the island develops. The next 3, I mean. And they are a lazy kind of resident. That's just how they call them, by the way, to sort of describe their personality in general. A lazy resident, peppy resident, and what was the other one? And normal, quote-unquote, resident. For the peppy resident, I got Pom Pom. And I didn't go look for her. It was just random, and I got her. And guess what? Her birthday is on the stream anniversary. So that's like fate just being written right there. Destiny, you might say. And it fits so well. My best friend forever in Animal Crossing, actually. Let's go on a little tangent here to talk about that. My best friend forever, my BFF, Tom. Not Tom Nook, but the cat villager called Tom. Cranky type of villager. That's what they call a personality, cranky. They are sometimes cranky, but not really, like always. But they have the deepest voice of all the different kinds of villagers. I always like them because of this. So that already kind of made me like Tom. I got him on my first ever village on the GameCube. Because I jumped from the first Animal Crossing on the GameCube to New Horizons on the Switch. And so I've been an OG of Animal Crossing. I just ended up skipping a lot of titles because I never got the consoles where they were in which they were released. But yeah, he was my BFF for a couple reasons. So one thing that happens in the GameCube games is that they didn't have birthdays for the villagers. They had zodiac signs, but they didn't specify the birthdays until the next game, actually. Birthdays for other villagers didn't become a thing until Wild World. So that first game doesn't have anything like that. So keep this in mind because it comes into play later, okay? He became my best friend forever for a couple things. One, he saved me from my roof getting painted a color I didn't like. One random event that happens when you talk to villagers in the first Animal Crossing is that the snooty type of villagers, or snotty, no, snooty is what they call them, sometimes gave a remark that says that, oh, you know, I think the rain today just messed up your roof. Oh, it would be such a shame for something bad to happen to it. And when you go and look back in your house, the roof is all messed up. It's this brown color, which which looks nice if you like brown, but it's meant to be that the paint just fell off because of the rain or something. And you can't do anything about that. So another random event that happens sometimes is that you talk to a villager and they're like, oh, by the way, I helped you out with your roof like you asked. I painted your roof like you asked. Wait, you didn't ask me? What are you talking about? Well, I gave you a free paint job. You should be happy. And it may not be a color that you like. But Tom, cranky villagers tend to go for like brown, black, maybe gray. I don't know if gray was an option for their colors. And black is one of my favorite colors, right? But part of my color scheme. My roof in the games tends to be purple or black. So that same day I had a snooty villager just cause my roof to become this brown color. He also saved me a few conversations later, talking to him saying that he painted it black. So I'm like, oh my god, Tom, you have saved me, thank you. Because otherwise, the only other way to paint it is to buy the paint in Tom Nook's store. But he only has one paint color per day. And you have to wait a while before you get your paint color. You don't know which paint colors he's gonna get for that week or for that day. And they're kind of in a rotation, but it may take a while before you get your color. He tells you that when you buy it. Like, if you don't get it now, it might be a while before you're able to get that one. So, yeah. I would have been stuck with a roof color I didn't like for a while. But he saved me from that. And it worked out so well. The other reason why he became my BFF is because I was... So, in Animal Crossing you have these things called furniture sets and furniture themes. A bunch of furniture that go together. New Horizons makes me very sad because they remove a lot of them. Hopefully they come back on the next one. I assume there's gotta be a next one, eventually. But, they just went too hard on the crafting aspect. That's partly why you lost that. But, I was collecting the Modern series, which is this beautiful looking one that is like black and white. A little bit of blue sneaks into it, but it's mostly black and white. And when it comes to the furniture themes and sets in the GameCube game, they make it so that if you want to get them all together, you have to go out of your way to do special events and wait for a special visitor or two to come in to give you the things you need. I think sometimes some carpets and wallpapers you would only find from Sahara, the carpet trader, or from Wendell, the wallpaper trader. And some pieces of furniture you would only get from Crazy Red when he came into town. And much like the paint color, you have to wait like every 3-4 days or so to get a visitor. And even then, it may not be the visitor you wanted. Like, you talk to the police officer, I think it was Copper, and he would tell you who is the next visitor, which is in the next 2, 3, 4 days. It varies. And then you would wait, and if it's not the visitor you wanted, you wait for that visitor to leave, and then you talk to the officer again, and then maybe it's the visitor you wanted. As a matter of fact, to this day, I still have some things I haven't gotten from those visitors. Well, to be fair, I haven't played the GameCube game in a while. I have my Wii. I have a nice Nintendo Wii. To continue playing that. Because my GameCube stopped working, actually. But yeah, haven't picked that up in a while now. But yeah. I still need to collect a few things from that. But yes, what was I saying? I'm forgetting my train of thought again, sorry. But yeah, he gave me the final piece I needed to complete the Modern set. Tom, I mean. Not Tom Nook, Tom, my friend. I think it was the floor, or it was a sofa, I don't remember. But he gave it to me. Like, you know, there's many random events in which they trade you things for them. Sometimes they are the things you can only get from the visitors, so it also helps in that way. They encourage you to really talk to your neighbors, right? Or they sell you things, something like that, in many different entertaining ways. So yeah, that's what happened. And I'm like, oh my god, Tom, I loved you. You and I are BFFs from now on. And then, after that... So, remember how I said birthdays were not a thing in the GameCube game? I found out long after that, looking in the Animal Crossing wiki, because when I first played with Tom, it was before there were birthdays, so I didn't get to play with him in a game that had his birthday until then. until recently with New Horizons, but by that time I already knew this. What I found out was that his birthday is December 10, the exact same as mine. So here is destiny again. Another great full circle for me, another great fateful element of my life. That's just daily life for me, but I never stop appreciating it. The true life of superstars like that, you see? Thank you for the hydrate, Lurin. Yeah. Really wish they would show like the item redemption on the chat here. Sorry if you hear the swallowing noise. Maybe I'm doing it too close to the microphone. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, going back to that. So 2021, February 11, Pom Pom's birthday on New Horizons. Very nice. Oh, and I think it was... No, never mind. No, I thought it was the first birthday I celebrated in the game. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Or no, wait. No, yes, it was. Because I started the game on 2020, December 30. Yeah. Yeah. The second to last day of that year I started that game. I'm still in a fantastic honeymoon period with the game. Still need to get back to it. There's still some things I need to finish. I need to finish the art collection in the museum. And then just endless or near endless Happy Home Paradise stuff. But anyway, and then we go, and now that brings us to last year, 2022, February 11. We had the first ever subathon. Subathons have always been an intimidating thing for me. A great fear I have is that I get literally no subs in the subathon. But I mean, it's a fear, but at the same time, it's a thing that I prepare for. Everybody who does a subathon, no matter what size, should seriously prepare for it. Even if you have 1 million viewers every time you stream, you seriously should be considering that. Honestly. Give me a second here, just checking something. Hearing the neighbors make some noise, so hopefully you're not hearing that on the stream. It's not music; they're just talking very loudly. Man, it's not that they're that loud or the music they play is that loud. It's that soundproofing on this room needs to get better. Well, sometimes they are that loud, but no, soundproofing just needs to get better on the room. It's a very wide room, I mean, but I can't really move anywhere else right now. So it's just a matter of finding more ways to soundproof it. Like even if I get those acoustic panels, which I will get, I feel it's not gonna be enough because the room is so wide, so incredibly wide. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes, it was a subathon, and for the first ever subathon, we blew it out of the park. Thanks to absolute MVPs such as Miss Weaver, Elurin, my brother Adam. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting more names, but I know there were some more of you. We ended up getting over 50, over 60 subs, a sub train of like over 500%. Yeah, I have the number written somewhere. I have a specific percentage written somewhere. But it was over 500%. Like, my God. My God. You think I'll ever forget that? I'll never forget that for my entire life. Never. And hey, I'm forgetful, but something like that, no, definitely won't forget that. And, well, I ended up having to wear a maid outfit for the rest of February. Now, this brings us to today, right? What we're doing today is a Just Chatting stream, just like I did 3 years ago in 2020, it turns out. Glad I remembered. I'm glad I checked, just to see what it was like. But, yeah, so... what was I gonna say? I was hoping to do a subathon again this year, but it didn't quite work out. I wasn't able to prepare things well enough to do it right. Still need to think of better incentives, honestly, I feel, in some of the tiers. But I was going to do something to the maid costume for the highest tier. If we reach over 50 subs, I think it was gonna be this time. Oh yeah, because for that first one, the most I went for was 30. Over 30 subs, it was the maid outfit. And I put it as a mysterious thing. I just put a bunch of question marks. I wasn't gonna reveal what it was until the end of the stream if we didn't reach it, or unless we reached it, which we did. And yeah, I wore the maid outfit for the rest of February. This time, I can tell you because we're not gonna do the subathon anymore, but this time what I was gonna do was that if we reach over 50 subs, I was going to go completely bald for the rest of February. I would take away my hair, and you would see your favorite bald superstar. You will see me in bald virtual idol form. And I've already looked at the way I look. I look a little bit amusing. But yeah, that's how it would look. That's how it would look. Of course, I'm glad I don't have to do that now. But even if we do a subathon again, which I hope we do later on the year, I don't think I'm gonna go for that as an incentive anymore. So that's also why I'm mentioning it. The thing that happens with me, maybe it would happen to you viewing the stream, watching the stream, and I don't want this. The thing that happens to me is that when I look at myself long enough without hair, then when I put on the hair, it feels like I'm wearing a wig. Or it feels weird like that. I've tried out other hairstyles, by the way. I've been meaning to maybe change my hairstyle, but I wasn't convinced by any of them. It just looks like I'm wearing a wig on top of this. Like, yeah, it just doesn't look right. Doesn't quite look right. So, I'm still gonna stay with this hair. I'm probably gonna stay with it all the way until I go live 2D. This is fine hair, you know? I still like it, but still want to do even better than this, if you will. Depending on the price, I might end up commissioning someone to do a hair style for me. The thing about B-Royd is that it's very difficult to do like hair with multiple colors in it properly. Like, it always looks like a hair strand always looks so separate from the rest of the hair. It doesn't feel quite right, you know? So that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. On the other hand, when it comes to Live 2D, or even other things entirely, you can make it look more natural. Or even if you make them very separate, they still come across as better. With a more anime style, if you will. If you have it like Yu-Gi-Oh style, there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh hairstyles that are like, the colors are very separate from each other, but it still works so well. It doesn't look like you're mixing water and oil, in a way, right? So that works out. That works out. What was I? But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. When it came to the past years, a little bit talking about the future right there, right? I gotta tell you, I got a bunch of references ready for when I go live 2D already. They are AI pictures, so it's not something that I'm gonna be using other than for reference, I would say. Because there's issues with AI, as fantastic as it is to generate pictures and all that, but they made for some fantastic references. Putting a Kamen Rider style belt, getting a Yu-Gi-Oh style, not just of hair, but of a bunch of other things, right? That it all comes together so nicely. And for that reason, I really want to bring it all together for references. The thing I fear is that for the artist, I'm just gonna give them like 100 pictures or so, and because there's so many that are so good. But yeah, I gotta avoid doing so many. I don't know, like the more references you can provide, the better. But I feel like over 100 is probably too many. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But that would be part of the changes we do. There are many other things. Let's have more music playing. What was that? It was a weird sound for a moment. Anyway. Back to the chiptune music. More chiptune music, still. And again, sorry if you hear any noise from the neighbors or so. Anyway. My voice is still so weak, all things considered. Too bad it's so weak for such a special occasion. Again, wanted to do way more than this, but this ain't so bad. This ain't so bad. Not the first time I've done just chatting for a stream anniversary after all, right? So there's that. Hey, 5 years though. I feel like I should have done something much more different than this. But yeah. Now, talking about the future though. Well, this is an extension of what I did at the beginning of the year because I did talk about this, but start to come with some different plans now. I think I am starting to choose that I am going to specialize in a particular niche for the YouTube channel. I'm so hesitant to do it because it's comment writer. And the problem with it is that I can't have that be reflected in my live streams that much. Though, you know, it becomes a problem. I've seriously considered putting Doctor Who as part of this as well. Creating like continuity analysis, lore analysis, lore showcasing of not just Rider but also Doctor Who. Because it fits me, I mean, as the multi-dimensional VTuber. You see what I have in the background? That's from somebody called Kenaz on YouTube. That's Kenaz. Z for zebra. It's meant to be like the time vortex from Doctor Who. I call it the portal to many dimensions because that's what it is too. But in many times in the past, I've had this for a long time. For years now on the stream. I've called it the time vortex before because of that. And it's right there in my logo as well, this sort of thing. It's a portal, it's also a supernova explosion, it's many things like that. And it's there in my eyes as well, as I have shown you many times. Kind of fits Doctor Who quite nicely in that way, right? So, these sorts of things really go well when it comes to branding. But I'm still hesitant to do that. Song covers I still want to do, of course, but I wish I could do more song covers. I wish I could be releasing one every week. If I could have, I would be releasing one every week or at least every month, but not even that is possible because of copyright issues. If I want to get past that, it involves a lot of money that I don't have. So that's the problem there. And even without that, I want to get to a certain standard for those covers, you know. I told you, there's a couple I'm working on. And still haven't done any mixing for them, but my mixing skills are amateur at best. I'm hoping to become better at them, but even if I do, video editing is another can of worms, another Pandora box that I don't think I can get to like the level I want for that one. Like, you know, the level that you see in a lot of like some productions from VTubers and even non-VTubers that I want. Usually you only get that through a commission. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. I have chosen to spend my budget right now for expenditures like this. Expenditure, is that a word? Expenses. Expenses like this. Expenditure. Where have I seen that word? Anyway. For other things. Like the Fall Guys Season Pass. But even then, like, the budget I had for this right now was maybe just enough for one cover, which would be the mixing and then the video. And see, sometimes with the video it's not that simple because you also have to commission unique art for that video, so that involves even more. It's a lot of money. Like, we're talking about a couple hundred USD for each of them to produce one of them. If you want to have it at that certain quality, makes it so worthy. But yeah, somebody who has zero drawing skills, somebody who's amateur at sound mixing, somebody who... I'm good at video editing. I think I'm decent enough at video editing, but for something like that, may involve something like Adobe After Effects, right? Yeah, I'm definitely not at that level, not anywhere close to that. So it's a different story. I have done my best though, with the song covers I published so far. And you've seen it. You've seen the kinds of video edits I've done for them. But I think it's still not quite what I want it to be. That being said though, I am planning to do... I'm in the brainstorming stages right now for what is going to be the 39 Kamen Rider Challenge. If I'm not mistaken, it would be starting on February 24, running all the way to April 3rd. So there's that to consider. Oh yeah, Shin Kamen Rider got a release date. They announced that yesterday, or well, 2 days ago in Japan time, because it was the 50th anniversary of the final episode of the original series. So that's a great time to announce it. March 17 in select theaters in Japan, and then March 18 in all theaters in Japan. Hopefully it makes its way internationally one day, just like Shin Ultraman. Even then, Shin Ultraman wasn't in a bunch of different places. But, so not everybody got to see it. I still need to see it, actually. But, yeah. Shin Kamen Rider, I hope, can make its way elsewhere. And it can be watched in theaters. No matter what, I'm gonna watch it one way or another. Rest assured. Rest assured. I have high expectations for it. Maybe I shouldn't have them too high. But I hope they have some sound effects from the original series. Hideaki Anno is the type to do that. He did that for Ultraman, from what I understand. Because it would be... there's something really fun about seeing a complete redesign like that, but still hear the original sound effects. Like that eagle-like sound effect that they have for the double riders. The first two riders, Ichigo and Nigo. I'd love to see that. But that would be happening in the middle of the 39 Kamen Rider Challenge, and there are some things I would be working on, and I can't tell you what it is, just because, well, I don't want to say it and then I don't end up doing it. But what I'm planning is quite ambitious. Maybe more ambitious than the covers last year, because there's a bit more variation between what I would do each day for each rider. And there's some studying up I need to do with for the type of content I'm aiming to do for that. But if I do, I think it might be a good success. It might be really good. We shall see, though. If honestly, I really want to do it because I want to experiment to see what interest there is for those sorts of things I would do. And if there is good interest, then I would go all the way to making a VOD out of those. A full VOD of them for videos on YouTube. Well, yeah, I'm gonna give a few more details. They are shorts, just like the covers I did last time, but these ones are a different thing. They're not music covers, they are something else. If you've been here before, I've talked about this idea for longer form content, but now it would be done in the form of shorts, so 1 minute or less, because I'm basing it on YouTube. They would be uploaded to TikTok as well, but TikTok allows more than 1 minute. I gotta base it on the one that allows you the shortest time so they can be in both platforms, right? Oh yeah, I've been seeing some videos here and there about YouTube Shorts and all that. Lots of new things have been rolling out for YouTube Shorts this month. They don't quite apply to me yet because I'm not monetized yet on YouTube. So yeah, I'm super confused about the way music works in there. It's kind of weird. I don't think I fully get it. But it kind of seems like if you get copyrighted music in there, it doesn't constitute as much of a problem as it does for regular videos. Like, you may get less money, but that's it. You may not get the video muted, you may not get the video blocked, like ever. Those things are not gonna change. So if that is the case, it gives me good reason to create more covers for like openings and endings of things. I would love to do all Yu-Gi-Oh! Openings and endings, honestly. I would have to learn them, but it's possible. I've already done a couple of them in complete video form. I would do them again. And film myself again singing and all that for them. It can be done. But yeah. What I have as an idea for the 39 Kamen Rider Challenge is more ambitious. Hey, don't get me wrong, covers are hard to do if you want to do them right. Or well, time-consuming at least. The good thing about them though is that you start to develop a standard for them. If you display the lyrics on the screen, you get used to like doing the text on DaVinci Resolve. That's where I do it. I'm guessing it's maybe the same for something like Adobe After Effects if you're using other programs, or if you have more deeper knowledge of video editing in Resolve, stuff like that. But what I'm aiming to do, yeah, I gotta develop a standard for that first, and then I can do something like that. It's something that I've long thought about doing in many ways, and I think trying them out as YouTube Shorts. I've seen somebody else do content like this. and it got them a lot of success, like explosive success. So there's potential there. Again, I don't want to say too many details in case I don't go through with it, because then I say, oh, I'm gonna do something, look at these plans, and then they don't end up happening. I've fallen into that trap too much. You know, partly is the problem of the disappointment. I feel like I'm disappointing you, telling you this exciting thing is gonna come, and then it doesn't come. Or it comes and it's an underwhelming thing when it comes, I don't know. After hyping it up so much. Or the other problem is that there's this thing that they say that when you talk about plans, kind of makes you less likely to do them, because talking about them already kind of makes your brain register them as happening, even though they haven't actually happened. And so you kind of feel a sense of accomplishment, and that's enough to make you not do it anymore, or not do it as much. I feel like I fall into that trap sometimes, you know? I feel like that's a problem with me sometimes, so I feel like I gotta work on that. Yeah. But it's an exciting prospect, if it works out. What I'm struggling with the most right now... excuse me. What I'm struggling with the most right now is that I have a dilemma of how I really want to approach the content on YouTube. Niching down. I don't know if that's a word, niching. But niching down, which is a necessity for all content creators that want to grow and don't get like an immediate burst of luck exploding right off the bat, because that happens. And even for those ones, I argue this is maybe necessary. Yeah, like deciding on a niche that sets you apart from everybody else. You gotta super specialize on things. You gotta be known as the person for this, right? I like to think that I'm known as the person for Kamen Rider covers, or at least for that has covered every Kamen Rider theme. Most of them openings, though I still need to go for Trust last for Geats. I need to do that one sooner than later. What I could do, you know what I could do? I could release it. And I don't know how I would do it though. It's a complicated song to do because there's multiple vocalists, parts going over each other. I have experience in doing that now. That's great though. Oh my gosh, like the 38 Kamen Rider challenge last year was so great at giving me experience in doing these sorts of things. It was so good. And being consistent, creating like creating something for every day for 38 days. Something like that. I mean, really builds up your skills quite nicely. Like a boot camp of sorts. Worked out really nicely, so yeah, it might be a good idea to do it again. The thing is, if I'm gonna do it again, I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna try to do it more preemptively than last time. When I did these covers last year, I actually didn't record them every day, like one per day, one edit per day. I didn't do it like that. I mostly tried to do them in bulk. But even then, it's 38 of them, so I wouldn't always record them as much. I remember I had like, sometimes just 5 recorded in bulk. As the days went on, I eventually they caught up on me, so I had to record another batch, or one day I could only do 1. Sometimes there was too much noise going on outside. I couldn't really do any recording, or something like that, and things went differently. So, well, sorry about that noise. But yeah, that sort of thing needs to be in consideration, I would say. So, this time, since these are more difficult than the covers, I feel, potentially more time-consuming, there are some things that will be easier about that. It's not songs, so I don't feel like I have to do, that much with my voice. So I would like it in a good state, of course, but yeah. Like, I don't have to watch out for certain things. I don't have to make sure of certain things during the recording process. But yeah, I need to study up some of this material. There was, again, there's another VTuber. I can even say it specifically. It's another VTuber that did this. That did something like what I'm planning to do. and they did it in short form, and it brought them amazing success. Well, no, I don't remember if it was the shorts or the full VODs that did that, because they've done both of them. But yeah. The problem is that depending on how I do it, especially if I niche down for Kamen Rider and or Doctor Who, it will become difficult to link that to video game playing. And then if I do this Twitch Fall Guys stream, for example, most of the audience is not gonna like carry over to that. I can't connect it to everything, obviously. I don't think I can do like what I'm planning to do for that, for something like Fall Guys, but still, it's a problem. No, for that matter, I need to create more YouTube shorts of like the clips I've been doing. I did that recently with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Beaver Warrior one. I've been meaning to do others. There's some clips I need to create even here on Twitch. There was a great Final Fantasy Friday recently. I had like 4 marks on the stream for clips that I need to get back and do. That's something important. And then create them vertically. Not just making them vertical, it's about also putting text on them. Subtitles for them, so it's captioned all the time basically, or nearly all the time. And also some other edits here and there. That Beaver Warrior one has that. A zoom in, like a dynamic zoom here and there, depending on what's happening. Maybe even a slow motion effect on something. So these are the sorts of things I need to do. And that is time consuming. Though the more I do it, the better I become at it, and the less time I consume at it. Until I reach a certain peak on that, but that's the great thing about the 38 Kamen Rider Challenge last year. This time, the 39 Kamen Rider Challenge might be the thing I should go for. I think there's a lot of great potential there. So, because seriously, I want to encourage people on social media to also do it on their own. That was the thing we did. It's a hashtag that I created, and I encourage people to participate. Few people did. The thing is, you don't have to do every day of it. As long as you do at least one day and use the hashtag, you did something great. You do something for like the writer of that day. If the writer, I had somebody who did only stuff for Black and Black RX, and they only participated. I don't know if they did it on the day that fell for Black and Black RX, but they did some great artwork for Kotaro Minami for that, and he was great. He was great. I just had an idea of maybe doing the 40 Kamen Rider Challenge. And maybe, oh-ho!
Supernova Explosion. Joystick Tarza, 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 white 520, white 520, white 520.
Look at Gimli.
White 52,
Look at Gimli over there.
52 prime white.
And who is that? Who is that next to Gimli? Who is the final emote? Is that Thorin? Is that Thorin from the Hobbit movies? Well, Adam, great to see you. 21 months. It is Thorin, all right. You got the F-Zero fanfare. So a little bit covered by the music. Should have paused it probably. Well, my brother. Here we are on the 5th year in a row, and for you, for 21 months now, you have exploded from shining superstar to a supernova. And that applies to you wherever you may go, whether it's Tamriel, Middle-earth, Bree-town, Tatooine, Dantooine, Yavin 4, Norway, Mexico, Canada, Mars, planet Kepler 22b, planet Vegeta, and so many other places. You are an even shinier supernova. You've been following me for 3 years, 6 months, 25 days, and 3 hours. Time indeed flies by. I can't believe this is the fucking 5th anniversary. Something feels wrong about that. That's impossible. That's impossible. Father Time, explain to me. Yeah, remember you can all do that command, by the way. Exclamation mark follow H. You can see how long you followed. You can also see how long you've had your Twitch account. Account H. We're old? Not quite. We're older, damn it. Not old. Look, you know I am a star cluster. So I'm like millennia old at this point. 8 years, 4 months, 24 days, 20 hours ago. What is 8 years ago? Around 2012? No, that's the other way around. 2016 or so, I think. No, 2014 is like 9 years ago. Now that makes me sound old. You know, I probably will talk about this in a New Year's Eve stream. But it was at the end of 2013 that I discovered the world of Twitch entertainment live streaming. Earlier that year, I had seen stuff like Evo and fighting game tournaments, but that's why I'm specifying entertainment live streaming, like the way I do it. Somebody playing video games and commentating on them. Of course, I do more than just that now, but back then, yeah, I discovered Man vs. Game and Lethal Frag. They were the first 2 streamers I discovered, basically. And the first Hobbit movie came out 10 years ago. Oh man, you're right. You're right. It was December 2012, right? December 2013, the second one. December 2014, the third one. And then Star Wars the year after that. The Force Awakens. We're old. Older. Not necessarily old. I know I don't feel old, so that's a good thing. I mean, my health is not the best, but I can at least say I don't feel old when it comes to that, you know? So yeah, I am older than I'd like to be, I will say that. But anyway, can't wait for Jedi Survivor? Oh yeah. Probably not gonna play that. That's the game, right? Probably not gonna play that, not gonna have time for it, but not gonna have the budget for it either. But yeah, haven't even played the first one. Lost Order, was it? I don't remember the name, but yeah. I've seen some great cutscenes from that, though. But yeah, it was late in 2013. It may have been November already, I don't remember. But, man, it was... I said to myself, looking at them, I looked at it, what they were doing, and I'm like, I have found my fucking calling right here. Oh my god. I want to do this now. I need to do this. I have set a new goal for my life. This is it. This is what I want to do. In some way or another. It's taken quite a few twists since then. But here we are still. And I set myself a goal that before the decade ended, before the 2010s ended, by 2019, December 31st, I must have done a live stream. I must have started live streaming on Twitch. And I said specifically Twitch then. YouTube wasn't having much of a live stream theme back then. And well, the day came, 2018, February 11. I did do it before that, but you know, the first official stream, February 11 of that year. So I did it with plenty of time to spare. I fulfilled my dream. Still, you know, when you fulfilled your dreams, that just goes to show you, when you fulfilled your dream, you have reached a goal, but that doesn't mean that it's the end goal either. There's still so much more to do for me. No shortage of it. You're playing Hogwarts Legacy? Okay. Hogwarts. Keep switching between pronunciations here. What house are you in, Adam? And how did you decide your house? Did you do... I haven't seen much of the beginning of the game. I've seen some people play it here and there, but... I don't know how they decide your house in the beginning. I think maybe you can choose it or you can do a quiz. That's usually how it is. I think the Pottermore website is like that too. Like, they give you the option to choose or you can take a quiz. And even after you take the quiz, if you don't like the house they gave you, you choose another one. The sorting hat always takes your choice in consideration. Harry himself said it. But yeah, I found out the other day that there was a movie in the 1980s called Troll that had Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I hope I said the name right, who is mostly known for being the actress for Elaine in Seinfeld. But before Seinfeld, she looks young. I've seen a scene in which she was in. It's a sort of comedy horror movie. It's kind of weird, but an interesting concept. But the main character is called Harry Potter Jr. This was long before, you know, the Wizarding World novels came out. So that's the funny thing right there, right? And it's a family of people, the Potters. It's the family of the Potters. And the father is Harry Potter Sr., the son is Harry Potter Jr. And magic is involved in the movie. There's this, the eponymous troll is like this sorcerer that was angry at the world and he finally got released. He possessed a girl and then he started just going into people's apartments and turning them into forests, magical forests. And there was some body horror going there because he was morphing some of the residents in the apartments into like goblins and other creatures. An elf, but not like an actual elf that you're used to, but this little creature that it did have the elven ears, but it's more like this little gremlin kind of creature. I don't know what the hell it was called, an elf. I don't know what they were spoken there, but yeah. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character was transformed into a nymph. Sex appeal in the movie there, from the way she looked there. It's kind of funny, but yeah. The Sorting Hat chose a house, but since it's gonna pour more side, I think it just took that. Really? Okay. You gotta tell us though. You can't just say that without saying what the house is. Tell me, and I'll tell you if you're in the same house as me. Although I feel like if I take the quiz again, it might say something different now. If there's a quiz in the game, for example. But you're Ravenclaw? Okay. You are in the same house as me then. Look at me. I'm all about the stars. I'm all about being an absolute lunatic. You think Ravenclaw is not my house? Of course it is. Of course it is. I get very close to being Slytherin though. A lot of the time. That's another story. The best house? Let's go. There's no purple house, so hey. Sure. If there was one, yeah, I would go for that probably. But yeah. Yeah, that troll movie looks kind of like fun. I kind of want to watch it. As long as you're not Hufflepuff, come on, man, come on. Don't be so mean on them. No, actually, I think the house that I fit the least in is maybe Gryffindor. I don't know why. I forget. They get so much hate? No, they can be great. Their common room is like so chill from what I've seen. But and they allow anybody into the common room. Like, all the other ones, you know... Well, Ravenclaw allows anybody in, as long as they do a riddle. Gryffindor, I think, you have to know the password, but even if you're not in the house, if you know it, you can go in. It's a rare sight, though. And then Slytherin had, like, a combination on the wall, kind of like diagonally, like, leading to the dungeons. I don't remember. But yeah. What was I gonna say though? What was I saying before we talked about this? Yeah, I forgot. I forgot. Let me drink some water. In the meantime. You feel like Gryffindors are too reckless and then are always rewarded for their recklessness? I mean, how can I say this? There's a bad example and a good example of every house. For the red house, the best example is somebody who is brave and willing to sacrifice themselves for others. The worst example is somebody who's just brain dead, reckless, who's like, oh, I'm gonna be a hero and I'm gonna, and they do something foolish. So yeah, it's just like the worst of the lot. Every house is gonna have bad apples, you know. The greenhouse, yes. The bad examples are dark wizards, absolute evil people. The good examples are absolutely ambitious people who, with their sheer conviction, are able to overcome adversity, basically. sheer determination, like they would say in Undertale, you know? Like, no matter what obstacles you're gonna put on me, my dream is so important to me, I'm gonna fucking do it no matter what. So there's that. For the yellow house, what is the worst example is somebody who just is extremely generic and boring. The best example is, what could be the best example? Somebody who is an absolute sweetheart, absolute kind person that everybody loves, nobody can hate, in general. Or another best example would be somebody who is so unique that they don't fit into anything. And Hufflepuff, yeah, they tend to have some people like that. That's something I think is forgotten, and I think it's an element of the house that if you don't fit into any of the Hogwarts houses, that means you fit into Hufflepuff. Not in the outcast way, but rather in the you're too unique to put a label to. So, okay, well, you are given a label technically, but only because you couldn't get anything else. Like, you don't fit. You don't fit in anything. You're too unique. You're too much of a superstar. And then let's see, the blue house, our house. Let's see, the worst example. What would be the worst example for this? I don't know. Somebody who's crazy, but actually is like crazy in a bad way that they don't know what they're talking about. Lovegood's father, Mr. Lovegood, who was publishing a bunch of nonsense that mostly wasn't true in his magazine, actually. Xenophilius, right? I think was his name. Yeah, I guess that would be the worst example. Maybe I'm biased because it's my house. I can't think of like the worst of the lot, but no. There's also Gilder Lockhart, but I don't think that's something unique to like Ravenclaw. But the best example, of course, is somebody who is extremely intelligent, extremely wise, and just unparalleled wisdom, unparalleled knowledge of things. And then, yeah, that's it. That's all the houses. That's all the houses there. And I'm reminded of Fire Emblem 3 houses as well. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It's always fun when you have a setting that has like multiple houses in it. A school with different like divisions that you can be a part of. It's so much fun, man. It's so much fun. You know me though, I'm the sort of maniac that wants to have a character that goes through all of them. But even then, I feel like I gotta make a choice. I always try to go for one that fits me. In Final Fantasy XIV, right? The Grand Companies, I went for the Maelstrom because of the whole vortex thingy. But yeah, that sounds like a fun thing to do. It gives you a nice place of belonging and immediately gives you a kinship with your other members because you already have that in common with each other. It's always something that works great. If done wrong though, it can be really bad, but overall I've seen it executed so well, and when you have it in a video game setting, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Oh yeah, long while ago I played the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy Game Boy Advance game. Played it all the way through the end. The houses work differently in Duel Academia, in Duel Academy, but I ended up being Obelisk Blue, you know, all the way to the top. I think I switch between houses all the time. But I wouldn't want to be in Osiris Red, or Slifer Red if you will, because their dorms suck. They have terrible dorms and a terrible like cafeteria. I'd rather go at least for Rye Yellow, you know, everybody gets their own room. You don't have to share a room in a bunk bed with people. You get generic food. And of course, the luxury of Obelisk Blue is very worth it. And with Fire Emblem 3 houses, if I ever do play that game, I don't know what the places I'm gonna choose. I don't know enough about the houses. I just seen the leaders, and I look at the leader for the red house, I don't know the name, and I like her look the best. I'm like, ooh, sort of nice, gothic, elegant vibe going on here. I like her, I'm gonna join that house just because of that. But no, I may have to find out more about that. Honestly, if I get into a situation in which there's teams or houses that none of them seem like something that fits me, I just do it randomly. That's what I did for Pokemon Go. I think I ended up being for Team Valor, I think it's the red one. But it was chosen completely randomly. It sucks when I do that because then I don't feel an attachment to the team. Don't really care much about it, but hey, sometimes you have to do it. If you have to make a choice, the choice is forced on you, right? So yeah. What was I going to say though? Yeah, those things are a lot of fun, you know? Those things are a lot of fun in many ways. In many different ways. And what was I talking about before that? Like right before Adam came in with the sub. Well, I kinda missed that. Well, actually, I think I might be ending the stream soon, honestly. So yeah, I know, it's a short stream, but next week things should be back to normal. So let's talk about what we're gonna do next week. The plans I have, well, back to Final Fantasy Friday. We really need to continue the Manderville madness with Hildebrand. Last stream was cut short, unfortunately. Things came up IRL, but thankfully nothing bad. And thankfully we can continue this now. Might be good to even do it before Final Fantasy Friday, but I think I want to have Master Duel and Fall Guys again. Yeah, like one of them will be on YouTube, because I'm also gonna have the Japanese learning on Saturday, as usual. I want to go back to that. Probably at noon Eastern, as I've been doing. Midday Eastern, if you prefer. And I will have Fall Guys and Master Duel, maybe, yeah, one or the other on YouTube. So that I have 2 streams on Twitch, 2 streams on YouTube. I was thinking maybe I wanted to do something for Valentine's Day on Tuesday, but I think it's best if I take the day off, as I have to work on other projects as well. Again, brainstorming, seeing if what I'm thinking about doing for the 39 Kamen Rider Challenge is going to be possible. If it's not, I have a contingency. I have something else that I might do that I think could be really fun, honestly. And if so, yeah, I think one way or another we're gonna have that 39 Kamen Rider Challenge, so I also need to think about the tweet I'm going to do in the Kamen Rider Daily account, or in my account, retweet it into the Kamen Rider Daily account. Kinda like last year, encouraging people to participate. I think I was talking about that. There were a few who participated for pretty much every day, or nearly every day, and one of them did some art. I could tell that he was using like a sort of base model for the art he was doing, because he was doing like all the main characters, all the riders, but like their human form, if you want to call it that. Like Takeshi Hongo, Soji Tendo, and he drew them. They were really good drawings, but he was using a similar model to all of them. But it worked out, I mean, in a way that was really good. That was really clever, in my opinion. They were doing that. Somebody else, I think it may have been Miles, Sonic Fox Prower, who was in the collab for April 3rd, which, by the way, we need to think about that too. I need to think about what we're gonna do for April 3rd this year for Kamen Rider. I want to do a collab, but this time I want to stream it from the YouTube side of things. I think that would be a good idea. And then what would I do? I would, what would I do? Well, yeah, I would have to think about that. But yeah, Sonic Fox Prower was like doing a tweet talking about like the general information about each of the main riders, basically. And there was somebody else who did something too. I forgot what it was. I'm forgetting right now. I'm blanking on that right now. Actually, I can check because I still have it like on my tweet deck. I have the hashtag save and I think it still displays those tweets right there. Let's see. No, never mind. No, the tweets are not recent enough, so it doesn't appear there. I'm so glad TweetDeck still works. Couple days ago, there were some problems with Twitter. Yeah, on the Nintendo Direct day, also. Yeah. Oh yes, we need to talk about that a little bit, don't we? Yes, we do. But yeah. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Ah! Remind me what I said, what I was saying in the chat, the Kamen Rider Challenge. No, TweetDeck, yeah, Twitter. I thought TweetDeck was down because I started searching for it and they were saying, oh, it's going to become paywall behind Twitter Blue now and this and that, but no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Or at least it's not happening for now. Just a bunch of like dirt sheets saying things that weren't actually happening there. I think it was just part of the problems that were going on with Twitter with the updates they did. There's the 4,000 character update, but it's really limited right now. Not gonna care much for that, honestly. But well, that's another story. I'm glad we have TweetDeck still because it's a super useful way to keep up with not just my account, but the Kamen Rider Daily account. It's actual real-time updating of the tweets going through the timeline. I never really have Twitter show up like that. Like I always have to manually click or tap on something for it to refresh my timeline, and even then it may show something from an hour ago. So TweetDeck is also useful for that. Alright, and that is going to start soon. I'm gonna take a quick bio break and we'll be back. We can talk a little bit about the recent Nintendo Direct. BRB. Stay connected. Your life's a joke, you're broke, your low life's DOA. I actually thought they were saying something way. Something way, so I got it wrong. Your life's a joke, you're broke, your love life's DOA. Okay. Funny, we're just chilling, singing friend songs while we're just slaying sickle flies with a... What do I have? A sword? With a blade and a lute. That's what being a minstrel is like, you see? We sing while we slay, baby. Oh yes, that's what the minstrel life is like. But you know, the hustle. Do your hustle and slay, and then you can lay, as in lay down. You can rest. He's laying those ladies. Ah, yes I am. Yes I am. Hold on. Yes, he is laying those ladies. Ah, look at that. Yes.
Guys, Veemset is filth. Bloodthirsty, ruthless filth. And he's a war criminal. His ships have been screwing up Republic supply routes for years. Countless people have died because of him. He took out my brother's battlecruiser. Killed thousands more. The Republic should be planting his head on a stake, not offering him protection.
Okay, that was actually kind of funny. Did you hear that notification sound? That's the... Oh, great. We disconnected a bit, but... Did you hear that notification sound? It kind of sounded like a censor. Like he was saying a bad word there, and he got censored. That's so funny the way that works out.
With you.
Indeed. Oh, Force Storm. Ah, yes. Oh, yes. That's my AoE. Yes, Boron, you are right. Unlimited power. There is only passion. Peace is a... Oh, what's up with her? Look at that glitch. She's still standing. It's a stand. Omadase shimashita. Thank you for waiting. So, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. Wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct a little bit. What were you excited about with the Nintendo Direct? It was a really nice one. I still need to download the Game Boy app for playing Game Boy games. I like to play the Super Mario Land games like that. There was a period last year in which I really got into Super Mario Maker 2. And well, super classic 2D Mario games like that, for that matter. Or no, well, all 2D Mario games for that matter. And I wanted to play Super Mario Land, didn't get the chance to, now I get the chance for that. I only have the regular Nintendo Switch Online subscription, I don't have the expansion pack, so I don't get Game Boy Advance out of that, which is fine, it's fine. I hope they eventually introduce one way or another, whether it's Nintendo Switch Online or in their own way, the Pokemon games. Like the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games. Especially now that the 3DS shop is going to go down, I think next month. So transferring those Pokemon to the Pokemon Bank and then eventually to the home like that It's no longer gonna be possible, not really. So this is like great timing to release them on the Switch and give them compatibility with the Pokemon Home. I think that would be brilliant. And yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to get them there. I've been meaning to play every Pokemon game since I got back into it last year. And don't think I forgot, I still need to do the trainer cards and release them. Release all the trainer cards we did on those streams. There's a couple that need to be time-stamped as well. They're on YouTube. Still haven't gotten around to that. The last two, Galar and Paldea, need to still be time-stamped over there. But yeah. Well, seeing that there was a demo for Octopath Traveler 2 sounded great, but I don't think I'm gonna play it because then I think it's still gonna be a while before I get the money to buy the full game. So I would leave the demo off and then come back to the game like a long time later, and I don't like the sound of that. So yeah, that's the potential situation I would be in. What else was I excited about? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, the thing is, I was excited about these things, but I know I'm not even gonna play most of them anytime soon. I'm seriously considering getting that Mario Kart 8 seasonal pass, but man, I don't know. The budget is very tight for like video game purchases right now. The thing is, I kind of have video game purchases and stream-related purchases on the same budget. I know I probably should have them differently, but they overlap a lot, right? But what did I say? So I was excited about the Metroid Prime remaster. I'll eventually play that one. Etrian Odyssey, I know just a little bit about that actually. But from what I saw of it, yeah, it looks like a really fun RPG game. The way you make the maps while you play the game, that's amazing. Reminds me of very old school RPGs. I've only ever played the first Phantasy Star like that, but I got a good idea what that's like. Oh yes, and Samba de Amigo! Oh, Samba de Amigo. There's a song from Samba de Amigo I'm very fond of. That I've sung before on the stream, that I had before. On the Samba time, there may be some of you who remember that. But yeah. I would love to finally play a Samba de Amigo game. I never played the original ones because I never got the Sega consoles that they were in. So it would be great to finally play one here on the Switch. I'm glad they finally did something like that because it feels like a no-brainer to release that on those. But there may have been some on the Wii actually. It would make sense to also have them there. Wonder if they'll have maracas for that. They probably will have maraca controllers you can get, but then you can just use your regular like Joy-Cons for that. And that will do the trick. No? I think that would be just enough right there. All things considered, it's not a direct which made me go very crazy about things that much, but mostly because I know I just won't be able to buy any of these anytime soon. There's that to consider. But yeah, it is an exciting prospect in many ways. To be able to play the Game Boy games there and the Game Boy Advance games there. I almost considered an expansion pack so I can get the Mario Kart 8 additional content, but I think it's best if I get that on its own instead. Still not enough to incentivize me to play that expansion pack right now. Although F-Zero Maximum Velocity, that looks great though. I don't think I ever played that one. I played nearly every F-Zero game actually. I was very fond of the Game Boy Advance games, especially F-Zero Climax. F-Zero Climax is very underrated. It's a fantastic game. Although, I will say that it works better if you play GP Legend first. It's kind of like a sequel of it. Not so much its own game as a sequel of it. Like, you would feel lost in some ways if you didn't play GP Legend first, in my opinion. I don't know. That's my opinion about that, at the very least. And then who knows what this year is gonna bring. I mean, already a few days into it. How many days now? 42 days, right? 31 in January, 11 in February so far. That's 42, I think. I can do math. Hold on. Yes, I think it's 42. So yeah. I'm looking forward to having the anniversary happen for Master Duel. Actually, yeah. If we're gonna have Master Duel this week, it will depend on what potentially may be happening in the game. I actually still need to update it. There was a large update. I updated it on Steam, but there's still like 500 megabytes in game to update. Let me see. Mastadur. Yeah, I haven't seen. There's no other information about that as to when it's finally going to happen. There's been data leaks about that. Some things are going to release on February 14, actually. Interesting. So it might be good to play this week, but I'd rather have it for like the event. If there's no event happening in itself, then what I would do instead is have another Final Fantasy 14 stream. Maybe. Well, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. I'm still looking this information up. Yeah, there's no more information about that right now. No specific date confirmed for that. What I do want to have one way or another is another Fall Guys stream. Still grinding the Season Pass, you know, there's still places I want to go when it comes to that Season Pass. Get all the way to the final rewards with SpongeBob. They'll need to get that. And I did get the Ultraman stuff, so what I want to do, I already have the thumbnail thought of. I would have myself doing the Ultraman pose, I don't remember what it's called when Ultraman does that beam and maybe goes shwatch. I would do that pose in the thumbnail, maybe if I'm able to pull it off, and it would be Ultraman Fall Guys. And it's literally just the only Ultraman content there is the skin I'm wearing. I would be wearing the Ultraman outfit for most, if not all of it. Sort of you're hearing barking in the background. But yeah, some barking going on outside. But yeah, I think it would be fun because of that. I want to do that for Fall Guys. I want to continue grinding for the Season Pass in that way. Maybe seeing what challenge they have going on. I think the Lobster League is still going on. I already completed that, which is great. If they have another one happening soon, I'm not sure when the deadline for that Lobster League was, but yeah. That's what we would have next week. I think it's gonna be 4 streams next week. 2 on YouTube, 2 on Twitch would be the plan. Final Fantasy Friday is already there. I know we're gonna do that. And the Japanese learning stream on Saturday. May no longer be at noon Eastern, but I would like to have it early-ish. My sleep schedule has been messed up lately. Need to really regulate it again. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, just that sort of thing. The other 2 streams are up in the air. Fall Guys is what I'm thinking of, but it may not be that. And then, yeah. I wish I could go back to Terraria. Again, maybe some Terraria Tuesdays. They were fun, but don't think I can stick to the game that much. And it sucks because, man, again, Ducky and company gave me a great bunch of items to end the stream last time. Feels like a waste not to use them. You know, I was thinking of maybe even creating a schedule for next week. Something I was considering doing for the stream today was that we would create a schedule for next week on the stream. And part of that would mean that I will also be streaming like 6 or 5 days of next week. Yeah, 6 from Monday to Saturday. So I would have a Minecraft Monday. You heard me right. I was actually gonna plan to do Minecraft Monday, to do the first ever Minecraft stream, the first time I ever played Minecraft in my life, this Monday. Make a big deal out of this, like, it's a new era! The 5th anniversary has happened, and now it's a new era, right? It's a great time for a new era after an anniversary, right? But, well, it's not quite gonna be like that. We should just continue as normal, going back to the stream schedule I've been wanting to have. So we're probably gonna start the streams at like 5 p.m. Eastern or so, and stuff like that. But with that being said, I think we're gonna end it right here. There's not gonna be a raid today. And this was the most casual stream anniversary I've ever done. Not the first time I've done just chatting, but it is shorter than the last time I did just chatting for a stream anniversary. And again, Again, sorry if you hear barking in the background. It gets really loud sometimes. Can it be heard? Anyway. What else can I say that I haven't said before? But thank you so much for being here with me for another year. And I hope things continue to grow even more. I have plans. I always say I have plans. It's always good. It's good to always have plans, you know? You should always have plans. You should always have something to do in your life. And, oh yeah, there's no shortage of things for me to do in my life, I would say. And, well, hopefully these plans would be a new era, sort of, in terms of, like, what I have planned. Wouldn't be the first time I tried to do this, but this time, if I really make that decision, we will be really going, like, harder into it than ever before. But for now, Maniacs, Superstars, Supernovas, Tajigen Travelers. I hope I see you on this next week of streams as we get back to normal, quote-unquote. At least that is the plan. But have a good one. Otsukare-sama desu. Thank you for 5 years.